Is that for me or my fur? Now, guys, I know what you're thinking. You're like, Ryan, of all nights to have it be fur themed, why did you choose the night in which we're having a fundraiser raffle for victims of Hurricane Maria? And to you guys, I would say, just let me have this, okay? Like, look around. One, two, there's at least 4 people wearing fur. I see you with that furry little hat. Tamia up here looking like a hairy little snack. John over here looking like an ostrich run over by a Mack truck. We got it all, everyone. But really, there's really no occasion to not wear fur, but we just decided to make it tonight. But really, give us all your money. All the money for drinks, all the money for raffles. It's going to go to Hurricane Maria relief in Puerto Rico. So it is what it is. Anywho, without further ado, yeah, y'all better laugh. Without further ado, our first reader, first-year poet, Tyler Smith.
Fire. I just want to do opening remarks. Ryan emailed us all yesterday, us readers here tonight, and he asked us one question. Well, 2 questions, really. The first question was what we thought of fur. And I'll tell you what I told him, because I believe it bears repeating. In terms of fetishes, there's better ones out there. But the second question, he asked us what our theme was going to be on our work tonight. This same time yesterday, I didn't know. And up until an hour ago, I still didn't know. But then I tried to think about where I am right now. Where am I physically? Las Vegas, Nevada. Where was I previously? Minneapolis, Minnesota. So, in a sense, I'm a first-year poet here. And that's a big transition for me because we're starting anew. So my theme is going to be about beginnings, transitioning from old beginnings to new beginnings. So without any more wasted words, here's my poetry for this evening. It's called Trash Babies. It happens this way. A white stork migrates in winter to avoid the onslaught that is to come. Stopping her flight short to rest on mounded trash hills, she roots through cords of electrical wire wrapped around melted plastic bags, veined with fluorescent shards, still mercurial, but long since extinguished of light. Below this, she reaches with mandible pressed against culmen to pull a strand of flesh clinging from bone. The push of rot spreading deep into its fibers. Here she'll winter the coming months, away from her flock, feeding on bits of flesh beneath the refuse. Before our horror compels us to rewrite the story of where babies come from when children begin to ask such questions. That was Trash Babies. Got a few more. Depending on time. Ryan said, Angelo said 8 minutes, so I blame him if I go over that or under that. The next one's entitled A Place in Between. Faith, not in God, but the distant calm of silence, deep within a wood, next to the meandering stream, where we spilled from mother's wombs and drank from the currents shining in midday suns. Somehow remembering, in our incredible youth, that moment on the back of our tongues every time water touches our lips. My closest with my mother is something that I'm not close with her. Let's just put it that way. So here's a poem that illustrates my not closeness with her. It's called The Sleeping Mother. From behind the spread of curtains in my one-bedroom apartment, I look out onto a scenic view of a parking lot. A mother walks her child across the blacktop as he pants, arms outstretched, trying to pull free from the harness around his waist. She releases a spool of line and the boy dashes forward, only to be jerked back by forgetting the line is there. He falls back and the blacktop scrapes away a layer of his flesh on his palms. When he pushes himself up, he's not so much crying as he is smiling over the bright red droplets covering his hands. And his resolve stirs inside of me to escape my own apartment and return to a childhood and run half naked in the morning sun as my mother sleeps late. Bear with me, we got a few more. Those were a beginning for me. That's some of the work that I submitted to get into this program, and still I don't know how the hell I got in here. My next poem is something in progress, so please judge it. It's in progress, so throw your eggs at me if you will, but I would prefer if you not. It's entitled, You Here Now. It's a little bit depressing. Turn from the moon to the motions of a single moth, her squally movements from yard lights to porch light, her overcast shadow projected out onto the night, nourished by lingering in fresh air, and her flight from hedges of lilac to lavender, to rotting raspberry pits. Her threadbare wings remind you of an old friend and his freckled face on the night before he took his own life. The moon pales in comparison to heaviness of rain clouds forming overhead and what it means for everyone involved. Got one or two more. This one's called Transitory, and I think it's applicable considering I transit. It opens with a quote by a band from Wisconsin called Farewell Milwaukee. Anybody know of the band? Yep, that's my music taste for you. So here's the quote. The funniest thing about trying to go home is when you open the door, you wish you were back on the road. Farewell, Milwaukee. Transitory. The road to nowhere knows you better than family. Long nights spent between lines of moonlight in the passing glow of flared pupils. Beyond the tall grass of prairie. Goose pimples along your arms. Autumn wind rushes through open windows. And you say goodbye to the road in front of you as it goes on its way behind you. The speed limit reads 75, but you're going 55. The road to nowhere knows you better than family. And I'll conclude there. Thank you all.